Hi, I'm Susan Parker, and I want to share some oils with you that if you're someone who works a lot with fractionated coconut, I want to give you some alternatives that can broaden your oil experience, your formulating experience. So let's look at our slides. So these are 11 carriers to use instead of FCO. So, fractionated coconut is usually abbreviated to FCO, and it is a fraction of a whole coconut oil. It's an oil that's been broken up to have only the short and medium long carbon chains, which is why it's always liquid and fully saturated. Usually, saturated oils are solid butters, mango butter, shea butter, but fractionated coconut, because the carbon chains are very short, makes a liquid oil. And very related oils are MCT, medium chain triglycerides, and CCT, which is caprylic triglycerides. All very similar, all generally extracted from either coconut or palm oils that have these rather short carbon chains. So the first oil we can look at is almond oil. Lovely soft oil, mild with little color or scent, often used for making baby products. It's so gentle on the skin and has a good percentage of vitamin E, an antioxidant tocopherols, which help to protect the skin. Plant sterols and squalene are also present in the oil, anti-inflammatory, and protect the skin from redness and irritation. Camellia oil is a wonderful oil, an especially good oil for oily skin, and it's what we call a dry oil. Dry because it feels dry. You put it on the skin and it feels dry rather than oily. So camellia oils, there's several, but they're all related to Camellia sinensis, which is the type of camellia that produces green and black teas. If you've ever had a very strong cup of black tea, it can make pucker your mouth and create a kind of grittiness. And what that is tannins in the oil. And that's what gives camellia oil this dry feel. So it's exceptional for oily skin, but not only oily skin. Jojoba oil. And jojoba oil, as many of you may know, it's technically a wax, so it has this kind of secret, but because it looks like an oil and acts like an oil, we call it jojoba oil. What's exceptional about jojoba oil is very long chain fatty acids that resist oxidation and soothe and protect and soften the skin. And it gives it, jojoba oil, a very long shelf life, which makes it a good alternative to fractionated coconut. Meadowfoam seed oil, however, has an even longer shelf life, similar to jojoba, but it is a true oil, has made up of triglycerides, and is not a wax. It's very soft on the skin and protective, and it offers vitamin E tocopherol, antioxidant protection for the skin. Very long chain fatty acids, even more than jojoba. 96% gives it the longest shelf life of any oil and great resistance to oxidation. Kukui nut oil. Kukui, the kukui tree, is the state tree of Hawaii and has the common name of candle nut. The nuts were so fatty and oily, the ancient Hawaiians used them as candles. They would get them burning and be able to carry them at night for light and some warmth. It's an oil that's rich in both essential fatty acids. There's only 2 essential fatty acids, and this is an oil that's quite rich in both, and it's very helpful for skin issues such as dermatitis, eczema, and that sort of thing. Kukui nut, of all of the oils I'm showing you, is not a cooking oil, however, as it's emetic, not unlike castor oil. Marula oil is beautiful. See the beautiful rose gold color? It's an oil of southern Africa and is a favorite snack of native elephants, so I understand. The oil feels silky on the skin and leaves a dry rather than oily feel, not unlike Camellia. Helpful for exceptionally dry skin, and it has a very high oleic acid content, so it's protective. It's also a member of the Anacardiaceae botanical family, which is also includes mango and pistachio oils. Safflower oil, as you may see it on order sheets, there's often two types, a high linoleic and a high oleic, because linoleic acid, the original safflower oil and sunflower as well, is a polyunsaturated fatty acid, which means it can oxidize fairly quickly. So the food industry set about to make a high oleic acid version of safflower oil. The oleic acid is not as readily oxidized, which is why they have wanted to make an oil that is good for making processed foods and kind of grocery items. The high monounsaturated acid varieties have been bred from the linoleic, the polyunsaturated linoleic version, to make a much longer oil with a longer shelf life. Very mild oil, antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties, and so is great for the skin. Abyssinian oil is a member of a cabbage family, botanical family, Brassica, and thus dominated by extra long fatty acid carbon chains. This makes the oil very soft feeling on the skin and extra protective with an extended shelf life. Has anti-inflammatory properties, and the oil can help calm skin redness, inflammation, irritation, and that sort of thing. Rice bran oil is just how it sounds. It's pressed from the germ and the husk of the rice grain, the whole grain. That's brown rice. And when it's refined to make white rice, they can repurpose all that husk and germ and bran into making oil. The oil is particularly high in anti-inflammatory plant sterols and squalene. Both help to calm the skin from inflammation and protect the health and renewal of the collagen layer in the dermis. So it's a wonderful oil for the skin. And here, radish, daikon radish oil, all radish oils, are also members of the Brassica cabbage family. And just like Abyssinian, have very long carbon chains. And we're talking about carbon chains that are 20 and generally 22, sometimes 24 carbons long. And this makes a very different type of oil from, let's say, the almond oil, which is mostly 18 carbons. That's science for you. 2 carbons makes a very different oil. Sometimes used in the place of silicones in the hair industry. The radish oils, actually broccoli seed oil is similar, can help smooth hair frizziness when it gets too dry. And grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is an easily found neutral oil high in polyunsaturated fatty acids, so store it away from heat and light to prolong its shelf life. Some sites promote the oil for high heat cooking because it has a high smoke point, but its polyunsaturated nature makes it that not such a great idea. Can easily oxidize with high heat treatments. So think about these oils. There's many other oils, and along with this video, below this video is a download that talks about storing your oils, sourcing your oils, and the shelf life. And it breaks different oils into different categories that will help you choose more oils that can broaden your oil pantry for formulating. So thank you for joining me lipidoils.com is our website.